What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the 57 plus, or 50, it started with 57 or 56, but we went with 57, sounded better, but in the end, whatever we started with, many Civs, obviously there's not that many left now, so it's kind of irrelevant, but it was just a name, because it's just a generic battle, there's no real unique twist on this one, it's just an exciting, sort of, putting in all the experiences maybe I've learned from setting up the other ones, and the comments from you guys over the last year or so, into just a really cool world game where hopefully it's actually pretty equal and competitive. There'll be other ones, I'm sure, in the future with unique twists. Hopefully we'll go back to doing that sort of stuff. See the deleting the Civs. Obviously we've done different continent-based stuff. I've done stuff like Old World and New World in the past only. And I'm thinking of doing maybe like a North and South. So maybe just have Northern Hemisphere. Or we just have Southern Hemisphere. You have two battles going on at the same time. Lots of different ideas potentially there. So yeah, there's going to be stuff with unique twists coming back one day. Don't worry. France versus Austria has broken out. And also just a heads up, if you only are maybe watching this series on the channel, if you want to see something similar to an alternate battle, because I'm not doing one for this series. However, if you would like, I sort of called it a few episodes ago in this series when I discussed it, and it's now started. I'm doing a Let's Play on basically the same scenario. The only real change is the difficulty. So the bonuses I gave to certain Civs are a little different as well. And I'm playing on Emperor difficulty. And also I just took out Persia because I thought it would give more space to other Civs. I don't think that worked at all. I think they're doing just as bad. Harapa's doing even worse than that one with no Persia. So I don't know what's going on. But if you are interested, I'm doing a Let's Play as the Two Sicilies. I'm sure there's a lot of crossover. I imagine everyone who's watching the Two Sicilies series is probably watching this, but I know there's a lot of people probably watching this who don't watch the other series. So yeah, if you would be interested to see if I can do better, I sort of set myself up there. I said, yeah, it's so easy to be the Two Sicilies. You don't need all these land units. It'll be fine. But so far, I'm pretty similar to this Two Sicilies. I'm much earlier in the game, 30 turns earlier, which is a little alarming, but obviously this is a higher difficulty, so I'd expect it to be further ahead. They have way more units than me, but we both have the same number of cities. No, I have less cities. I don't have one down here, and this one for me is up here. But yeah, there you go. If you want to go check that out, that is there as well. And there you go. That's a little announcement. While nothing particularly too big is going on, let's get a bit of a recap as we approach turn 100. The Iroquois are fighting the Shoshone without much success, and that is the main event in the Americas right now. And the Sioux have settled in Cuba out of nowhere. I don't know how they even got the scout out. Open borders with Texas. A settler, not a scout. Africa, the Zulu sort of hanging on the edge here of elimination. I mean, they're still going to be in Madagascar, but yeah, the Congo are coming in for them as well. If South Africa was to fail. Burundi, Ethiopia, there's so much fighting going on up here. I don't know who's fighting who, but Egypt did take this off the Garamantes, but it looks like Ethiopia might take that off them as well. I'm not really sure what's going on. Plenty again, you see a lot of damage here, but no cities being sieged out. Europe's pretty peaceful. Germany putting up a bit of a defense, but yeah, no one's really losing any cities or in a huge amount of danger. The Khazar could be in a bit of trouble here against Parthia, and Japan is going after Siam. But, I don't know, Siam's got their units in place now. They might be a bit better off to protect themselves. And Himeji Castle is completed by California. So, a wonder for them. Indonesia doing their thing here, spreading out a few cities. Samoa doing very good with a pretty big population. As we've seen, some massive cities, 20, 18, 17. And you've got Australia too, with more land. So, there's always that as well. But we'll see who wins out of these two. And there you go, a war breaks out. Samoa looks like they have an edge here, so we'll see how this goes. But it would be interesting. If Samoa wins this, then all of a sudden they are right in there. Obviously, we saw probably our first ever major contender out of the Oceania region in my last battle. The Kulin did very well in both of those games. Now, there was, it was set up to help them a bit, but they're more aggressive Civ than Australia. I don't know exactly what Australia's unique ability is, but I know it obviously involves their cities are sometimes puppets. And that can't be that useful, so I'm guessing that using the Kulin, who are more not aggressive, but they're more free to do what they want, kind of Civ, probably played a part in that, as well as just Indonesia got removed, if I remember correctly, from one of those games, and they just did rubbish in the other one, so, there was that. They were doing really well in one of them, and that was the one that they got removed in. Babylon has fallen again to Byzantium. I think Arabia got it, didn't they? And then Byzantium's just taken off Arabia. It's very confusing. Keeps changing hands. That's good. If Byzantium can hold on to this, that would put them in a good place. They've got some nice looking borders stretching all the way from Greece across to the northern Arabian Peninsula. Starting to get those Ottoman Empire vibes. Of course, the complete opposite of the Ottoman Empire from a Civ perspective, but still. Pretty cool vibes coming from there. Oh, Britain did grab a city in Ireland. I think we saw this before, but that's pretty useful. They've got, they're one up in the Celts in quite a few ways. Population, they're better off. I feel like Britain has the edge here whenever it comes to an eventual war. Britain has peaced out with France, nothing really happened. And Benin has peaced out with South Africa, and again, just sort of too far away for anything to occur there. Shaka, I'm a bit worried for him here. Could be in some trouble. Looks like he might just be not eliminated. He'll survive in Madagascar, but yeah, not so ideal situation. I think that South Africa have a good shot at conquering this city. Parthia versus Siam. Parthia, okay, this is fine. They can't really get to Siam and vice versa, so that's not super bad. There's no way to actually get to each other. So that's fine. I was hoping Parthia would just focus on the Khazar. Because, if they could grab this, they've been doing pretty well in this region. Obviously, Mongolia is sort of having to worry about Korea. Those two looking very ready to square off with each other. And the Chinook V California in the Battle of the West Coast. This is going to be pretty big. They actually have some huge populations, which is surprising. San Francisco's at 15. The Chinook, city of Chinook, is at 20. Sacramento's 11, 12 for Quatsamps. However you say that. So yeah, this is going to be quite a brutal one. But yeah, if someone could win it, I don't know. Probably not going to be a clear winner. Maybe the Chinook grabbed Los Angeles in this first war. I don't know. But we'll find out sooner or later, I guess. There is a Chinook settler down here. We'll see how it goes. Texas also with a settler heading out this way. There is still space sort of in Mexico. It would look very awkward, but you could settle somewhere in here. The Yucatan Peninsula is still open as well if someone were to settle like here. I know they can because the Mayans have done it in my Let's Play. So anyone could settle here in theory. Indonesia versus, or they might go for the Caribbean. Indonesia versus Siam is kind of important. Siam have a lot of cities when you actually think about it, but they're just very spread out and small. Not super important. Indonesia, they can't really threaten Siam yet, but it's encouraging. It's an encouraging sign that in the future they'll be willing to, go after them. Benin versus the Garamantes. They got the smallest sort of borders to get to them. With the Songhai's help, though, yeah, this should definitely be the end. I imagine the Songhai here will be conquering Garama, moving to the east, which is good to see. They're looking okay. Certainly not bad. They're not even, I feel like they're just, the only thing that gives them an edge, they seem to always do the best out of the West Africans, is the fact that they settle like nearby. They don't settle stupid cities, and that's mainly aimed at Morocco and Carthage, who settled, within each other. Like these two cities, that was ridiculous. They literally settled at the same time. Why would you not just Morocco go here, Carthage go here? Would have solved a lot of problems. Mali do it as well. This was pretty dumb. So yeah, the Songhai, I feel like the fact that they're just not greedy, or not going for random stuff they don't need, sort of plays into their advantage a little bit. So there you go. How you doing, Harappa? That city is huge. Like, someone is going to love taking this off you one day. That is for sure. As Spain and the Danish enter the Renaissance era, I forgot Belgium settled up here, so they will have control of the entrance to the Baltic Sea. I'm not sure Denmark will be too keen on that. I don't know where this French settler was intending to go. Maybe to Iceland. We'll see. Now that England or Britain has peaced out with them, there's actually a chance to get somewhere. And this should be the end for the Khazar now. Mongolia joining in could make it much more difficult, really help out Parthia. Looks like Korea and Mongolia are on good terms for now with open borders. So that's a little worrying actually for Korea, because if Mongolia conquer a few cities and they don't really move, that could be worrying. But yeah, Korea, I'm sure they can sit here. They seem like they're better off, much better off at them. Maybe not, but they seem to be a little bit ahead on technology, as you'd expect. Korea, very good tech science civ. The Iroquois dominating the info addicts at the moment, but Samoa leading the way for technologies. Which they had a lot of boosts at the start, so fair enough. There's only 49 left, so Civs dying pretty quickly. And a city did just fall to Benin. I think it was a random Garamanti city that was further south that I must have missed when I was talking about the war. Brazil, though, has somehow leapt into first for population. 26 in Rio, but 17 in Sao Paulo and Salvador here. That is insane. Yeah, so that is put them ahead of Samoa. That's incredible in Rio. Samoa's big, like 20, 19, 18, 13, which does add up, I think, to more than Brazil's, if I'm not... What's that? That's 60 minus 3, 57. That's 70. Brazil's adds up to 26, 36, 43, 53. Hang on, am I? 20, 30, 40, 47, 54, 60. Brazil's is 10 less, but it is divided over less cities. And I think the numbers aren't worth the same. I don't know if 1 to 2 is like a bigger jump or a smaller jump, or like than 25 to 26, for example. But yeah, the one gap, it's not the same every time. It gets much higher. Yeah, I assume actually, the difference between 25 and 26 is like massive compared to the difference between, say, 12 and 13 here. I think that would make sense if it's that way around. Burundi pieced out with Ethiopia, and they just held on to their own city. When Benin attacked the Garamantes, I completely missed this city, but yeah, that fell pretty quickly. Maybe there's a chance Garama falls too. Someone lost their capital. Oh, it was Shaka. Okay, and Belgium has completed the Globe Theatre. Belgium is doing good. If they can, it's about how long can they hold on to this? Because the longer they hold on to it, they're going to be in a stronger position. They've got random cities sort of dotted across Europe here. But yeah, I mean, if they hold on to this for long enough, do some damage, they need to do better with technology. I see France has their musketeers, so this is going to be a good sort of era for them. And Germany's still around, which is surprising in itself, so we'll see. That can be exciting. Germany, obviously, pretty similar to America. Kind of a fan favourite, but just struggles all the time. I feel like people would love it if they did well. Russia's another one. I think it's the World War II nostalgia. For some reason, not nostalgia. I don't think any of my viewers were alive in World War II, but, you know, I think that's what it is. It's kind of like the historical nations that were like such an important part of what we have now, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. The UK is another one people like to see all the time. France as well, to some extent. I just feel like people just like to relate it more to our own experiences. I don't know. I mean, I want to see Germany do well. I want to see the Americans do well for once. Mainly just from a Civ perspective now, I guess, that they never do well. But that's fine. Whatever. Oh, Los Angeles being attacked. The Chinook are trying. There's still a warrior just leading the front lines next to some musketmen. It's like the class that did well in school here with their musketmen, and the ones that struggled are just like, yeah, here's a stick with a rock on the end. You go first. Germany pieces out with Belgium. Oh, Germany. There's 2 Sicilies, Germany and Carthage too, as well. On the mini-map, the borders, the grey is almost pretty much the same colour. The Sicilies one's a little different, but Germany and Attila, you could hardly tell at the glance of an eye. It makes them look huge, but they're not. Germany, however, has pieced out with Belgium, and Japan has pieced out with Siam. They will not make any more progress into the mainland for now. They probably should have kept going to grab this, but I guess they got a bit worried maybe. Someone else going after them. The Sicilies pieced out with Egypt, and yeah, 2 Sicilies did not grab anything. Obviously lost this city as well, which kind of sucked. They nearly got Memphis, but yeah, they missed out. And Australia, so far, they're taking damage all around, all of their cities being attacked. But yeah, I mean, that's not the best strategy for the AI. So I think Australia might actually be able to just defend themselves a bit here. The lack of a navy does hurt. I'm sure they'll improve in the future. That's another one. Australia doesn't actually need any land units. Now, obviously, as an AI, they probably don't know that. They're a bit confused by why they're on a island on their own still. And they're just being attacked by these people out of the sea. So, you know, that they're probably a bit confused. But yeah, again, like I said with the 2 Sicilies and how I would play as them, same kind of applies to Australia. Every single land unit they've built is essentially a wasted. Like, they should have just put it all into triremes and galeases, and at least those would have helped protect their coastline right now. So there's no barbarians on either, which I guess maybe the AI doesn't know or realise. So yeah, that's something. So there's a really good result in the football for my team. Well, not for my team, but another result that affects my team. So that definitely caught my eye. I'm not going to deny it. I got distracted for a second. So that's good news. Oh, Chinook. Wait, was it Chinook always last? No. Who was? I swear somebody else was last and they must have died. Oh, Kilwar was last for ages and they took forever. That's what it was. It's not their fault. Every Civ that goes last just takes a while. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just packaging the turn. I don't know. But for whatever reason, it's always the last Civ. And I always hate on them for the whole episode as a result of it. Chinook struggling so far against California. I'm liking how Denmark look. I'm wondering, the longer they survive, the more powerful they become. And they've overcome that hurdle Sweden normally has, which is obviously getting into mainland Europe. Denmark actually has opportunities here with land units. Obviously, they build a ton of boats. They could also just bust their way out of the Baltic Sea. You know, Belgium's very coastal. You could do a bit of damage to them. Indonesia completes the Leaning Tower of Pisa. How's South America looking? These guys are genuinely very peaceful. The Inca with a lot of units down the west coast. Obviously, you've got the Corral sort of divided in two. But yeah, Brazil with that massive population and land, considering they have 3 cities and basically do represent modern day Brazil, is pretty cool. And Texas did settle El Paso in the Yucatan Peninsula. They didn't quite cut off access from the Gulf of Mexico, so the Iroquois have snuck in. I assume in and not out. They've come around this way, I would guess. Probably to come and settle somewhere down here. And I mean, the Chinook might be considering it too. Just squeeze something in. So yeah, the Iroquois might miss out. The Iroquois not having much luck against the Shoshone, as I sort of anticipated. Just because this lake is in the way. The Sioux and the Shoshone are pretty safe for now. The real weak link could be Texas. That's where there could be issues for the Iroquois getting stronger again. And obviously, you know, they can go and do other things as well. But yeah, for now, I think they're going to be held back. And that will give the other... It won't necessarily stop the Iroquois doing well. But some other civs like Korea, Mongolia, the Burundi, South Africa and Congo all look really good as well. So, you know, some other civs that will get a chance to sort of catch up. Brazil, potentially, just because they're doing really well, even with less cities. You know, it will give those civs a chance to catch up as opposed and stop them running away with it. It probably won't stop them being at the top of the game. Certainly not. They actually have loads of big cities. New war did break out. The Iroquois teaming up with Japan. Didn't even know they'd met each other. To fight the Chinook. The Chinook should be fine here. Japan, though, first civ I've seen with frigates, almost out of nowhere. Obviously, they did have a bit of a tech boost to their boat ability, well, to the naval technologies, but it wasn't as big as boost as Samoa got, and Samoa don't have them yet, so that's a surprise. Although I think privateers are the same technology level. You need iron for frigates, so Samoa probably doesn't have iron because they only have about 5 land tiles. So yeah, that makes a bit more sense actually when you think of it like that. Brisbane here should fall. It's kind of awkward though because Australia has the land units to take it back, so that could be an issue. But I mean, if Australia just randomly lose all their cities in quick succession, it could all fall apart very quickly. Obviously, you just need to get the 4 cities and they'll be eliminated. If you have all of them at once, you know, there's no like fighting back with just your units. No matter how many units you have, if they manage to use the boats and get all 4 at once, that's it. You're eliminated. So it could end badly for them. Renaissance era for the Corral, or Renaissance. I finally started saying it right. I'm not gonna let it slip back. Oh, we're going to hit turn 100. It feels like we're a lot deeper in this game. Don't worry, it sounds like a low number for episode, whatever episode this is. 5, 6? I don't know. But it feels low, but don't worry. It's obviously, we're doing shorter episodes by a little bit than last time. So normally it would be 1 episode further in. And also, what was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say. Samoa did capture Brisbane there. There's more civs, so it is going to be slower. But more importantly, we're on quick speed. So the era-wise, we're already like midway through this series. We're probably only going to make it to turn 200 on video, probably, and we'll have Civs very late in the tech tree by then. And, turn 250 will probably be, and 300 will probably be the limit, which I'll try and push to off video. It's not going to be one of those where I show you everything all the way. We saw how slow the last one got. I think at 200, in that one I started to speed it up as well. So probably be something similar here. There's just so much damage going on everywhere. Russia's still chilling up here, still doing their thing. A lot of dies. It might become the die capital of the world. Yeah, I think the Chinook should be fine. I mean, Japan's a nuisance, but and it probably means they definitely won't beat California anymore, but I don't think it's going to be like a serious victory for the Chinook. I don't think it's too much of a disaster or anything. They should get through that just fine. The Congo, I'm rooting for the Congo a little bit. I mean, my pick, California, is pretty much done. I don't even know why I picked them. I mean, if at least I should have stuck with my sort of, my gut feeling of the canal city of the Mayans. I mean, they weren't doing much better, but at least I could have stuck with it. But for some reason, I thought California would just conquer all this region, do amazing. I was so wrong. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really care. I mean, I'm not going to shout out myself. And it works to have a running meme that I've never got it right. I mean, if I was to pick someone and they won, then, the George jinx is gone. And that's a lot of content lost. So we can't... Maybe it's best if I just pick rubbish Civs on purpose. I've tried. I mean, that time I did the 60 Civ Europe game and I picked Austria. I think that's the closest I've been. And that was on a vote. So I could have... That was my one chance to rig it for me to win. But it didn't happen. Could have just created loads of fake accounts. But there we go. India versus... Oh yeah, and that's probably what I'll do for the results system. Just make that clear now. I think it's what I did last time. So we'll probably use score, which I know is not the best measure, to pick the top 10 and then give an order. And then I'll give you the Civs that are 10th, 9th, 8th and 7th on score, and you can vote for which one actually comes last. I think that's how I did it. I worded it awkwardly, but it was vote for like who you think is last, who's worst. Not vote for your favourite or who you think's the best out of these four. It was vote for who's the worst, and we do that all the way up until we're left with the top 4. But it may not be the top 4 according to score. But each time I'm adding the next Civ according to score into the vote. So we'll probably do that again. Again, it's not particularly serious. There'll be a shout out for anyone who gets it right, but. As I've also mentioned before, I'm not a super serious channel. I would happily give you all a shout out. Very thankful for all your support. So if you want to go change your comment or something in the middle, I'm not going to notice. Like, come on, I'm not the police here. I'm just. But if you want to play along properly, then that's also fine. And maybe be in the world that I'm in, where you never get the winner. You're only cheating yourself, I guess. But it must be a better feeling to just pick at random or something, or have a gut feeling and they win, than just picking midway through. But if you do want me to say your YouTube name in one video, then you're more than welcome to go ahead and change it. That's absolutely fine as well. Don't mind. Normally it's only a few winners anyway, so it's not like I'm reading out a list. If 1,500 of you suddenly tomorrow decided to all go and comment on the video, I guess that would be a bit more alarming. However, at the same time, I imagine that would do pretty good for the video on YouTube if 1,500 people commented on it all at once. So I'm not going to complain about that either. I'm not encouraging cheating here, but yeah, think about it like that. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good. Also, I'm quite worried because we never get, obviously most channels don't get the same amount of views as subscribers, but I'm just wondering how many people poor people who have subscribed and don't watch anymore, whose sub boxes are just spammed full of my videos. I mean, I was making 4 a day at one point, we're down to 3 now. We're just filling in people's sub boxes pretty quickly. I mean, we only just hit like 2,000 videos. I think we're already up to 2,100, which is quite impressive. So we're really flying through at the moment. Right, there we go. This will be the final turn of this episode. Oh no, I've got a sneeze coming. Not good. There we go. Caught it. Down my shirt. Lovely. Ugh. Hay fever is not good, especially in a global pandemic, because people look at you funny if you like sneeze or anything. Not that I've been anywhere, to be honest. Just been sat inside. Went and who has entered the Renaissance. I have no idea who that is. That could be anyone. It's one of the Civs I don't really know, so it's probably could be Parthia. Don't know who their leader is. It could be Benin, but I thought we saw someone who I'm guessing. I think Benin's leader begins with an E, just from my other Let's Play. I don't think it's the Corral, because this is a weird name with like Z's or just random letters in a random order, so I don't even know who that is. Went and to. Belgium is like a Prince Albert or something, so yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe Europa. I don't know who their leader is, to be honest. Yeah, there's not many other Civs whose leader I don't know, so it's a bit weird. Burundi versus South Africa is a big battle in Africa. Sadly, I can't really compare the two. That's one more thing where the info addicts are super useful. Apparently, it does now work with the 60 Civ mod. I don't know if that's a different 60 Civ mod or my mods have not been updating. I think once I've got these current Civ 5 series done, I'm going to reinstall everything. See if that works, because I've tried to get loads of mods to work. It just ain't happening at the moment. I'm trying to get some new ones. And the Sicilies versus Austria, which is quite exciting, because they should grab this city pretty quickly, and I will be looking for a strategy to steal in my own Let's Play. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.